been a fun weekend here. The crowds have been pouring in all weekend long to this iconic track at Pukekohe Park, just 45, 50 minutes out of Auckland. And even driving in today, traffic jams coming in, and that's what you like to see on a race day. The crowd was good yesterday, it's even bigger today with two big races to come up later on this afternoon, and the threat of weather in the area. That's all I'm going to say. Cars coming now to the grid to form up for this race over 12 laps. Andy Jones was in here yesterday, and I worried he didn't come back for this race. He was looking for a helmet and race suit. He wanted to get out there yesterday. We had to tether him to the seat here. They certainly have, and you've had loads of experience over the years in this category too, and too many people have come out of this going, nah, that wasn't fun.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it because I was 17 and just had no fear and enjoyed being up on two wheels and doing massive slide jobs up the inside. But yeah, now I look back and go, well, this would be crazy.
Are you telling me you changed?
No.
Never. Revs come up 11,500 of beautiful RPM from these Aussie racing cars. The green flag waves to the back. It's Stevenson and Kyle Clues on the front row for race 3 on the Aussie racing cars, and it's lights out. Great start for Kyle Clues from the front row in the Darrell Lee Sticks entry. Gets an amazing start here. He's got 4 or 5 car lengths on the field as they filter through turn number 1, and already the side-by-side stuff is on.
And into turn 2 here, Clues is cleared out. We got Preston there trying to round everyone up around the outside. He's made a really good start, but that start there, we saw Clues is very experienced, been in the category for a long time, and just got the perfect launch and given himself a good opportunity to try and break away from the field.
So keep in mind, this was a top 10 reverse grid race, so the likes of Tressida and Woods are coming through along with Duckworth to come down to Century Batteries turn 5 for the first time. That's Ludby in the legal elements entry. We're on board with Angus Fogg in the hand and down go-karts, Property Tutors entry, car 39. Lots of smoke in the distance, but everyone got through.
Everyone's been very well behaved here. Nice jostling for position. The guys who came off that 8, 9, 10 have made their way up to 6, 7, and 8, basically. So it's been a pretty handy opening lap for those boys.
Very clean, very tidy, very mature driving from everybody. I've put the kiss of death on it now because it's bound to ignite as through they come. Peter Carr on the outside and gets it done on Angus Fogg. So the 39 machine moves up a position into 6 now, but Kyle Clues has a 2.5-tenth margin, and that's huge in Aussie racing cars. As Pingle down the inside, almost contact there with Duckworth and Angus Fogg.
So Duckworth's going to want to get through this pack pretty quick. Obviously the slip through makes a big difference as he sends it straight inside turn 4 and compromises his exit. Fogg's been around this place enough. He's just left enough room there to make sure he didn't lose a spot. But Tressida's been the big mover, up to 5th in the opening lap. If he can skip through this next group pretty quickly, he'll be hard to stop.
So already there's no chance. Big lock up there. That looks like the car entry. It is. That was him on the lap just before. And you know well, you can't just settle into this race. You've got to go when that light goes out.
Yeah, exactly. Short sprint race. These boys got to basically qualify for 12 laps as Kel's up the inside again.
That corner, I've seen so many passing moves this weekend. But incredible. They filter on through at the end of lap number 2. The guys from 9th and 10th are slicing their way up inside the top 5 now as Wake Skiverus in the Millennium Group entry on the back. Heading down the main straight on Chris Stevenson. It's about 6 or 7 cars. Oh no, we're off on the grass here. This is going to be a big one. Right in front of the field and square on with the wall goes Craig Woods right in front of our commentary box. And it's one of those lucky spins. I know there's damage, but right in front of the field, he keeps going, but that car's going to be wounded.
Yeah, that was extremely lucky and unfortunate for him. He's been so fast all weekend and not the way he would have wanted to end it. So definitely would have pushed the rear of the rear end across, so the rear rails, the diff housing. It's all very close to the seat there too, so it's quite easy to get a bit of a knock in the back. But Tressida is on the move here, up to what's that, 3rd now.
That's 3rd spot. So the Bundaberg racer, former karting star in his first full season. Go back to that soon, because here's the replay of Woods. That's just understeered off the track on the top of the ITM straight. He held on, but it's this last part when it go across that concrete, it found traction and spun across square on into the wall. But look, the fact that it was just a couple of cars, not that whole group, it could have been much different.
Yeah, exactly. He was very lucky there was a bit of a gap in the traffic, but that's the thing with the Aussie car, short wheelbase, so very hard to control when you get on the grass and a bit out of control. And has he found the wall again, or is he just parked up?
I certainly hope he's pulled that car up. It looks like it hasn't been pulled up like that, though. It's now Tressida down the inside of Clues, because Clues has lost the lead here. Skibrus has taken that, and now Tressida from the 5th row is now up to 2nd, and we're only 4 laps in.
He's driven really well in the traffic as Duckworth has a massive moment. Probably overdriving a little bit at the moment, so he just needs to settle down. We know he's got the pace to win the race, and Kyle Clues, slingshot engage, actually on the bump draft. 2 ex-go-karters going to work together here to try and push their way forward to catch back up to the lead.
Nothing different, they've just got a roof over their head. Down to turn 5 they go once again. So Skibrus in the 68 Millennium Group entry. You got Tressida in car 75, Kyle Clues, Ludby, and then Peter Carr rounding out the top 5. There's Brendan Pingle. And Stevenson, who started from pole position, now finds himself in 8th. As Craig Woods jumps out, rub of the head, his race is over here. Hopefully they can get that car repaired, because race 4's not too far away.
Yeah, it's quite easy to bend the rear rails in these cars. Quite a small little chassis, so hopefully the Aussie car boys are equipped to be able to bend that back across if it has bent the rail, and get him out there for race 4, is it?
Yeah, only just over a couple of hours away right now, so a lot of work to be done in a short amount of time as Skibrus leads us through. There's Tressida. Kyle Clues now under maximum pressure from Ludby and Carr as it settles down as much as it can in Aussie racing cars on lap 5 of 12 here at Pukekohe Park.
Skibrus is actually just driving away from Cal at the moment. He's 3 tenths quicker in the first sector. Those two are the fastest on the track, but our race leader, he's exceptionally quick at the moment, so Cal will have to work hard to try and catch him up.
Second off the pace of what we saw yesterday, and that's Duckworth finding that curve, which is the talking point this weekend all along. I don't want to hit the curbs at all these guys at the best of times, but that's a real tough one down there at turn 2.
Yeah, exactly. And these guys, you know, such a small car, it kind of flies them across them, and very awkward, and probably does a little bit of damage to the smaller car, where the V8 Supercar just absorbs that curve and we don't really feel it. So these guys got to, you know, their line is a lot different that they have to take around this track. They can't use the curbs. They got to hit the bumps on a different angle, so it's a little bit tricky for them. But Duckworth needs to, you know, try and get through this next group, because currently now, if it stays how it is, himself and Tressida will be separated by 1 point for the round win coming into the final race.
Big move there for Clues. He got it done halfway down the straight. And now Duckworth gets into it as well. So Peter Carr pinching the brakes. This will allow James Duckworth to get right on him here. This is the pass that we saw from Carr. He set it up nicely on the hairpin. To get it right. Look at the slide there. Oh, man. Someone is going to have a big lose there at some point.
There's just a lot going on right there.
Duckworth, he's running wide. He's probably overdriving the car a bit. Yesterday, we talked about his confidence being at an all-time high. Today, it looks like he's just driving outside the limits of the car.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to probably just settle it down to go faster, but this is the first time we've seen him in traffic this weekend. He's been in that top 3 all weekend and pretty comfortable, you know, leading the train. So now he's having to pass people and figure out where he can do it successfully without, you know, getting passed back. So he's had to have a little bit of a rethink. He's got 7 laps to do it. Plenty of time in these cars.
Hey, just like that, we're halfway home in race number 3 of the Aussie Racing Cars, a non-championship round. James Duckworth is your new Aussie Racing Car Series champion after wrapping it up last weekend at Hampton Downs. They'll go into their off-season at the end of today and regroup for the Clipsal 500 opening round next year in Adelaide in March. So a big move heading down at Sam Milton, about to be passed by Thompson, and Milton just lets him go. He's on the wrong side of cool there to make that happen.
That was a good little move, set him up at the last corner. A little bit of a slipstream, and then just nice up the inside. Wasn't out of control, kept it all real nice and smooth, and, you know, didn't put either of them in any danger of spearing off the road.
As good as it is to be in a slipstream, it does make the car unsettled, doesn't it?
It does, especially in the high-speed corners. You find yourself with a lot more understeer. You lose basically the wind across the front of the car, which pushes the front down, so not as much weight on the front tyre, results in understeer. So it is tricky, and, you know, watching their onboard, you can see them playing with the throttle, a lot of wheel work, trying to get the car to turn through basically this section where we are right now. Car will be getting a little bit of aero understeer as the number 12 entry.
Charlotte Pointing behind the wheel of car number 12 this weekend and gets away. Looks like it's found the curb. Rejoins the race. We'll drop back behind Ian Shivers outside the top 20 as we go back to the leading group. So Skiveris has got 1.3 seconds on Tressida. We go back to Ludby, Duckworth, and that's Ruth Bowler. Had a quick chat to her last night and not really happy with how the weekend's panned out. She's won the women's championship of the Aussie racing cars, so said that's the positive to take out of this season, but would much rather have had a better couple of weeks over here in New Zealand. It's the replay of Charlotte Pointing, who won the race last week in Hampton Downs, the first female Aussie racing car race winner. Oh, lucky, parked it right in the middle and sent the field scattering down there, aboard car number 12. More replays happening down here at turn 1 and 2. And this was Ludby trying to go down the inside of Ruth Bowler at the very last second. Hard to do when you're going a lap down. You're focused on what you're doing. And that was Duckworth almost getting to the side of car number 9. It gets very busy when you're at the back of the field about to go a lap down.
It does. Obviously, these cars move around quite a lot, and you're trying to look in the rear vision mirror and see where everyone is, but that bit of lap traffic's actually just given the two leaders a little bit more airspace between third, and the lap times are coming down. Kel's just nipped into the 1:13s there, fastest man on the track, but it's all happening for that second, third, fourth, and fifth with those boys fired up, and Duckworth really having a red-hot go.
Angus Fogg, who's owned position 8 this weekend. He was fast in practice before having to change an engine and gearbox prior to qualifying. He said this engine just doesn't have the same sort of power that he had. They're very similarly matched, all these cars, only about 125 horsepower, but the speeds are incredible, giving the power to weight ratio.
And it is something, even when I raced them back in the day, we never wanted to change engine. Once you had a pretty solid one, you never wanted to change it, and you do whatever you could to make sure you left the same one in. And you know, if it's half a horsepower down on your previous one, you're going to notice it at a place like this.
So down to the hairpin on lap number 9. Still Skiveris, 1 flat second ahead of Tressida. Then Ludby and Duckworth we're watching, sweeping through the final couple of corners here at Pukekohe Park Raceway. This will be good for Skiveris if he can do this. He's had a second place finish at Sydney Motorsport Park earlier this year. Doesn't count towards the championship like we touched on all weekend, but still, a win's a win. Now Duckworth to the inside, moves up a position, and this time he makes it stick.
That was much neater. He didn't break any earlier, I think, just had a bit more on line as Skiveris is just starting to feel the pressure from Kel. Kel's just creeping up on him at about 2 to 3 tenths a lap. Now he's going to get the slipstream, so he's going to close right up on him on the back end of this lap.
He's regrouped, he's had to think about things, and now found half a second in that lap alone. So we're 2.5 laps from home. The witness marks on the walls from all the incidents we've had this weekend. Oh man, there's been some carnage. Great support cast here this weekend. It's down the inside. Goes car on Ludby, gives him a little rub on the way out. We'll try the switchback, but Ludby protecting the line here.
And gave him a wave. Tressida up the inside at the hairpin. Really good move. So Skiveris will want to try and hang on to him. Doesn't want to lose too much time. I don't think Duckworth can get to them at all with only 3 remaining, but he needs to sit right on Kel's bumper. Probably not pass him for the next 1.5 laps and really put an attack on with 1 to go.
So he gets back into the slipstream. Through they come at the end of lap number 10. And now Skiveris pulls out for potentially a pass, and he's going to do this on the run through turn number 1. So he's not prepared to give up without a fight, and that's good to see.
Oh. He's pushing extremely hard. Easy to lock a wheel there, but what he's done is probably cost himself 1-2k now down this back straight. Thankfully, he's getting a slipstream off one of the lap markers, and Kel's move has generally been the hairpin, or from the run between 5 and 6, he just jams up the inside into 6, and I feel the boys are trying to copy that now, but this looks like it's going to be on. Skiveris is driving the wheels off this Aussie racing car, and it's good to watch. This
is where Tressida was impressive yesterday, and watch Skiveris put it down the middle here once again. Tressida does what he did on the previous lap, but the door slammed shut on car 75. 1 lap to go though. Could we see a repay on the main straight from Tressida?
Looks like he's a little bit too far back at the moment, so Keller wanted to get through turn 1 nice and cleanly. probably actually won't want to pass him at turn 1. Kel's been around a while in the racing scene, so he understands how important it is to lead at the right time of the last lap, and he'll want to get off turn 4 well and probably sneak it up the inside at 5, or his classic turn 6 move.
It's the run here, and this time Skibberus gets a better run. He didn't pinch the brake, and now he'll try and break the slipstream on the back straight on this, the final lap of race 3 of the Aussie racing cars.
Where's it going to happen? 3 spots to do it.
I'll take the hairpin.
Oh, he's sending it up
take it here.
5. Oh,
there's
no,
contact. And he sent him off the track. Well, it was always going to happen, and now a fair bit of damage to car number 68 as he rejoins the circuit on the old part. And that'll just be about the race, I think.
Yeah, that'll be it. And thankfully, they've both continued. And what's happened there? They're both on the right on the limit of the rear brake. Both needing to turn in, and it looked like, you know, Kel just couldn't make the apex there, but obviously didn't have much room. As Skibberus must have a little bit of damage here, and he's just going to nurse it home. He's
going to limp the cars to the finish line. He's had a second place finish this year in the championship, and that will be his first race win in the Aussie racing cars this year. The 2-time karting star gets the job done here in race number 3. Kel Tressiter will be second. He had to have a go there, but it was always bound to end in tears at some point.
Yeah, exactly. These boys have been racing extremely hard all weekend, so here you go. Kel's just up the inside. You can see him squirming on the rear brake, and the angle of Skibberus' car probably unsettled Kel a bit, so he's jammed a bit more brake, locked the inside tyre. He's definitely in there, but just couldn't get it pulled up. Kel still made the corner after using someone as a brake, and thankfully they both pressed on, finished 1-2, so it should be roll on race 4.
Might be a wheel alignment required for car 75 too before race number 4, but nonetheless, Blake Skibberus picks up the win. Just under a second ahead of Kel Tressiter. James Duckworth in 3rd, Ludby was 4th. Kyle Clues fell back to 7th place ahead of Angus Fogg. And Charlotte Point in inside the top 10. We go back to Reece Chapman, Brendan Tucker, Sam Milton in 15th, and Kent Quinn completing the top 20 of this race number 3. Highlights, and they've been